Good morning. It's Wednesday. What in the world? Day? October 2nd. October 2nd. Let me see here. All right. Well, Sharon, good morning. Missy, glad you're on here. I have the blue book. Anybody have the blue book on our voting? Amazing to me, everything that's on this ballot. I don't know. I don't know. Did you know in the state of Colorado, you can pass an amendment with only 55% of the vote? 55%. You do not have to have a major majority here, just 55% to change an amendment to the Constitution, which is amazing. I'd be 75%, I would think, to change the Constitution. But they have 7 amendments on this ballot this year. We have 7 amendments and 7 propositions. And I get extremely nervous especially when you know the group that is running this state is incredibly liberal. I mean, we have, like, in all of state legislature, we just have a handful of Republicans. And I'm not even saying they're anything decent, okay? I'm just saying we only have like a handful of Republicans. They have a super majority in the great state of Colorado. So we have the libs are running the asylum, and it is crazy. So I get incredibly nervous when I start looking at these amendments, and I think some are good. Some were brought up not by the legislature. I think if you find something in here that legislature has brought up, I would definitely be incredibly suspect of it. I'm going to read more through these, and Sunday night at church, we're going to go over this blue book. And I'm not telling everybody how to vote at church. I can tell you how to vote on here if I want to. It's my devotion. I can do what I want, right? And I tell you how I'm going to vote. I'm not ashamed of how I'm going to vote on things, but there's some crazy stuff on here, guys. We have, and I don't, like I said, I don't know about some of these things. Amendment G, modify property tax exemption for veterans with disabilities. Look, the government isn't Big Daddy, and I appreciate veterans. I do, but I'm not changing our Constitution for them. I'm just not going to. And people can agree, disagree. That's what America's about. Amendment H, judicial discipline procedures and confidentiality. I know snakes are in the grass, Todd. It's the Amendment H. I think it does tell us on here, it's placed on the ballot by the legislature. So, I don't know. I mean, right now, a judge is disciplined by a panel of appointed judges. This would be made up of citizens, lawyers, and judges. So I don't know. It's an independent board. I'm going to have to read more of that one. So Amendment I is the constitutional bail exemption for first-degree murder. Right now, you can have right to bail if you're being charged with first-degree murder. They're trying to get it where you can't. Amendment K, modify constitutional election deadlines. I need to look into that. I don't know if that's protecting our election or if it's just making it worse. So a lot of junk here. Amendment 79, I have no doubt. Constitutional right to abortion, no. You have no constitutional right to kill the innocent people. And Amendment 80, I like this. Constitutional right to school choice. It will make an amendment in the Constitution that you have a right to choose what kind of school you want to do with your child. And I'm all for that one. The education union is screaming against it, so that tells me this is a good thing. But that's Amendment 80. So I definitely would vote no on the constitutional right to abortion. I would vote yes on the constitutional right to school choice. I would vote no on the property tax exemptions. These others, I'm going to have to check these others. I don't know enough about it. Proposition JJ gives the government more revenue from sports betting. No, you're a bunch of gluttons. You don't need any more money. As a matter of fact, you need to go broke and go home. We don't need you. Proposition KK is wicked too. They're wanting to charge a 6.5% tax on guns and ammo to build these psych houses and stuff. Why don't the pot houses do that? The psychedelic mushroom houses, let them build these things. They're the ones that's doing this. Let the psychiatric institutions build these things with the psychotropic drugs that they are handing out like candy, and they can build the nut houses and leave us alone. It's not the gun owners that's the problem. And so no, I'm voting no on KK, and I'm voting no on Proposition 127, where they want to hug the kitties and save the mountain lions and the bobcats and prohibit any kind of hunting of them and make it a class 1 misdemeanor if you shoot one. No, you guys can hug your cats at home, but we're going to kill the wild ones. And Proposition 128, parole eligibility for crimes of violence. No, you can keep your can right there in the hoosegow until you prove that you've been rehabilitated. Proposition 129, establishing veterinary professional associates, probably because we don't have enough veterinarians, so they're trying to make a new position and whatever. Proposition 130, funding for law enforcement. I'm just not much on giving more taxes out for anything, and quit defunding the police in the first place. Proposition 131, establishing all candidate primary and ranked choice voting general elections. I have no idea. I got to look at those. We're going to go over that in detail on Sunday night. And by that time, hopefully I'm a little more educated on these things and see what they're trying to sneak in. But they are, and there was one on there. I skipped that one. There's repealing the definition of marriage. That's Amendment J. No. I mean, these guys they are fundamentally trying to change the state of Colorado by changing the entire Constitution. And I'm telling you, anything that the legislature has brought up, I'm definitely very suspect of that. And we need to be very careful of how we vote and the way that they word that, and we will figure it out. Okay, so there's that. It's just I did not watch the debate last night, the debacle, I might call it. I just don't care to listen to any of that. And hold on just a second. The washer and dryer has decided to make all kinds of noise this morning. So, all right, let's get into the word. That's far more important. And we do our part, right? We do our civics. We do our civic duty. We go out. We vote. We stand for the righteousness and the goodness and protecting our country, keeping it what it should be. and what it has stood for and what has brought the blessings of God upon it. And we do our part there, and then we trust God. And before we go straight to thinking civil war, let's get on our hands and knees and ask God to do something that can stop this and do it so much more efficient than some civil war or some, I don't know. People don't even have a clue what that will do to this country and what it'll do to them. Anyway, that is the last thing that you want. It really is. And we'd be far better to, as believers, get on our hands and knees and be begging God to stop this tide of wickedness and do something far better, and let God get a hold of their hearts. And Asaph, I've been reading in Psalms, and we've gone from reading the Psalms of David. Now we have several Psalms here of Asaph, and Asaph is much more like. Yeah, Amy, I was going to say something about the floods that took place in western North Carolina, Tennessee. I mean, where is FEMA? Where is the president? Where are the Democrats? Where are the Republicans? Where is the help? We give gazillions and billions to some ungodly, reprobate Ukrainian president and give them hundreds of billions of dollars, and where are these ingrates at when it comes to helping our own people? I mean, if they were waiting on the government to help them, you guys would all be dead. You would. And that's probably what they want, because most of you guys vote conservative. I'm telling you, it's the crazy days. But you know what has encouraged me are the churches that have stepped up. And I say this and believe it with all my heart, that it's in the most challenging, darkest of times that the church shines. And it does. And it's the church people that are the most giving people in the country, in the world. And God uses his churches, and they are there and helping one another, and they're bringing in water and the hygienics that they need, and that's the church doing that. Where is the worthless Red Cross? Where are the United Way? Where are all these places at? The CEOs of that are raking in millions into their pockets and giving out very little of it. The typical socialistic idea: don't give your money to Red Cross. Don't give your money to any kind of a governmental agency that says they're there to help. Give it to the people that you can give it to these churches, and they can go get the stuff that's needed, and then they get it out, and they're far more proficient. The church overrides the government all day long, every day. Government ain't Big Daddy. As a matter of fact, Big Daddy has taken a stroll and is out committing adultery with everybody else out there in all these other countries, and has jilted his own people, his own family. I do not trust the government. I will trust what God says, and I'll trust his word, and I'll trust God's people to do the right thing. And we're going to see God's people step up even more and do great things, and they're doing great things right now. And this worthless, good-for-nothing press shows nothing of the devastation that's taken place here. I mean, all they can talk about is some gay guy running for vice president of the United States, and that's all that they can talk about. Give me a break. And yeah, exactly. I mean, you're right, Dennis. FEMA is a worthless organization. TEMA, Tennessee, their own local TEMA, right? They came out, a friend of mine posted it in Tennessee, FEMA came out and said, do not give any money out except to governmental agencies that have been approved by the government. You believe that? I'm telling you, some of those places, I think if FEMA does show up, they'll get chased off, and it'd be good for them. Get them out of there. Tell them to go away. We do not need you. And then the spineless Roberts, or whatever his name is, to well, Jan, I can tell you what we're going to do. And I do know it's hard to know where to give to flood victims. Well, I'll tell you what we're going to do. Ambassador Baptist College, Appalachian Baptist Church, there's a mission board that I know of. All of these guys are solid, and they will be accountable for what they do. And we're taking an offering at our church. We're going to do it Sunday and probably next week, give time for money to come in. And then Ambassador Baptist College is doing one too, where they're going to send that money into the churches that need it. And all of that's going to be accountable. And you can trust that. And if you want to give to that, give to our church. And what you do is you can write the check, but you mark it down that it is for flood victims. And then we're going to take we'll take all that money, we'll divvy it out, keep all of it, none of it stays with us, and we're going to send it to several of those places where it goes into all of those areas. And we're going to do that from our own church family. And if you know of people that don't go to our church, but they want to help with that, that's fine. That's what it'll do. It will all go to the flood victims. None of that is going, and by that, what those churches will do is they're going to be buying the stuff that's needed and helping these guys out. And that can be trusted. It can. And these are organizations that have been vetted, have been proven to be solid agencies for years, and they're not for, I mean, they weren't built for this, okay? They're local churches and they're local church ministries that are doing this, and they are trustworthy. And FEMA can go broke. I mean, you're right, Bobby, it's a joke. And these organizations and these secular organizations are a joke. And since 9/11, I wouldn't give a penny to the Red Cross after what they did at 9/11. I would not touch them. All right, I'm a lot like Asaph. Asaph, when you start reading these, I gotta quit, guy. I've already wasted my whole day. Psalm 74, Asaph comes out, God, you have forsaken us, and I'm begging you to come back, and I'm asking you to destroy the enemies. I mean, Asaph definitely was one that seemed like he was one that cried out a lot to ask God to deal with the enemies. He seemed to have a problem with anger at times, and I so much understand Asaph. And Psalm 74 is a good one that you can see with what God uses different personalities. And Amy, I'm so thrilled for you and Dan, the opportunity that you have had to show these people the love of Christ by the food that you're cooking on the grills, you're sending out meals, you are Tracy Jones yesterday gave out 400 gallons of water. They're giving out another truckload of water today. They have been given all kinds of baby wipes and different hygienic things that people need. And I mean, it's awesome to see. There's churches that are bringing in truckloads of stuff to help these people, and it's going directly to them. And and it's just God's people giving and helping with it. And it really is awesome to see. And it just shows us how worthless this government is and how we just don't need it. Not the way they are today. It needs to start over. But let's. I do want to share something in Proverbs, and I'll be done. But Proverbs 24:15-16. This is what it says to the evil. It says, "Lay not wait, O wicked man, against the dwelling of the righteous. Spoil not his resting place." Don't you dare sit around and just wait for opportunities to watch the righteous and the godly fail and fall and use as an opportunity to destroy them. God is saying, don't you do that. For a just man falleth 7 times and riseth up again. See, isn't that the wonderful promise of God? We do fail, and you know what? Here he is. He's telling the world. He's saying, you need to stop watching for the righteous to fall and use as an opportunity to destroy them, because a just man falleth 7 times, but he riseth up again. But the wicked shall fall into mischief. Oh, the day is coming, guys, and you know what we're seeing right now? We're seeing the viciousness of a government that does not care for its people. And if you're not going to vote for us, we don't care to take care of you. And let them do whatever they want. But I'm telling you, the righteous are standing up. The righteous are helping each other. The righteous are showing the true love of Christ. The true churches out there are meeting, and God is using them to meet the need. We're talking small churches that are helping feed and take care of large communities. And God is using the churches to do that. Whoever thought that God could use the flood in the eastern states there to bring a great revival? But I believe that he is and can and will. And we need to continue to pray for our brothers and sisters that are out there and living in that each and every day. The press isn't telling us anything how truly bad it is, and truly how many people are missing and dead. And it's a horrible thing that they are experiencing. And well, I can tell you that these churches they're right in the midst of it. Their pastors and their congregation are showing people the love of Christ, and we stand with you guys, and we're going to do what we can to help. And I've already had guys in the church say, "Pastor, if there's sometime that when it's needed, we can go out there and help with stuff, willing to go." I mean, it truly is a time to show the love of Christ, and those churches are doing that, and I am thankful. And I'm thankful that the government isn't Big Daddy. If he's Big Daddy, like I said, he has walked away from his family and is committing adultery with all these other countries and has left his children to fend on them on their own. I'll trust God, my Father, and let's live for him each and every day. Hey, it's Wednesday. Let's get to church tonight. Let's pray for each other. Let's study the Word of God, and let's live according to God, what God tells us to do. God bless you guys. Let's have a good day today.